Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nash, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I am supposed to go back to South Africa. This man that I ran over with a truck, I see him 24/7. Wherever I am, this man will be with me. If it happens that I go to the hospital and tell them everything that I am going through, they will say that I am mentally ill. And my wife, she has been stopping me because she says that once I go to the clinic, then I'm going to lose my job, because the type of a job that I am doing here, I have to be mentally okay. But how can I be mentally okay when I have these visions? My wife, she has been buying all of this over the counter medication that she says will help me to relieve the stress, but I think that they are making the situation to be worse, because when I take all of these stress relievers, then I start to have hallucinations and I see the spirit of this man. I did a hit and run when I was still working in South Africa. My boss covered it up. Now you will say that I am in Canada, but I'm in Europe. But the man that I hit, I see his spirit. My name is Blessing. I'm a 39-year-old Zimbabwean man currently living in Toronto in Canada. I have everything that you can ever dream of. Even my boss was the one who helped me to escape South Africa, to leave Africa behind. I got a stable job. I have a beautiful wife, and we brought our kids from Zim a year later after we had settled here in Canada. This was after my wife had came on a spousal visa. We do have a mortgage on a very quiet street, and most of our neighbors, they do not even know that this is what is happening to me. So the problem with being in these Western countries, you cannot survive on your own. If I go back to South Africa and if it happens that maybe I get arrested, then it means that my wife will struggle. She won't be able to pay the bills, because here in Canada, in order for you to survive, you need to work with each other as a team. My wife, she has since refused. Let me say that this accident happened in 2014. I will change the year that it happened so as to protect my identity. I was driving along the N1 highway in South Africa when an unfortunate incident happened. The previous week, I had been a victim near Bela Bela. They had spiked my truck and they had stolen my cell phone. So what they do is that they put these metal spikes on the highway, and when you drive over, then you will have a tire puncture, and if you stop, if it happens that you stop, then they will come and they will steal whatever that they can take. On that night, because I was still traumatized about what had happened the previous weeks, and then the accident happened, the man died. I hit him with the back trailer. I stopped the truck and I saw that this was what had happened. In 2013, I was living, I'll say, in Pretoria West. I started driving a company delivery truck for construction supply business. My boss, he liked me because I was quick with deliveries, and he then put me on one of the big trucks. The truth is, the reason as to why I used to drive throughout the night without resting, it was because I was desperate. I had left my country because of the economic meltdown, and I would send money to my wife, and I always kept my head down, and I made sure that I followed all the orders, and I did whatever that my boss wanted me to do. When it happened, Brother Nashi, I had just dropped off a load and I was heading back to the depot along the N1, and it was raining, not heavy, but the road, if you are speeding too much, it was too slick. I was tired, I was exhausted because I kept on working and working without resting. I just wanted to reach the depot and to clock out. That was when it happened. A man, I think he was in his late 20s, he ran across the road from the left. It was too sudden. The guy was drunk. I tried to avoid him, but the sound I will never forget. Even the truck jolted. My hands were shaking. I looked on the side mirror. It had happened. There was a man that was lying, not moving. I slowed down and I jumped off. And when I saw that the guy was not moving, I told myself that it was an accident, and in the N1 at night, it is too dangerous. You cannot stop for a very long time. I did not want to lose my job. I knew what I had done, and I drove straight to the depot. Johan was there, and I spoke with him, and I told him everything that had happened. He did not even blink. He was like, leave the truck, go home, I'll sort it out. The next time I was called to his office, and he told me this statement, Brother Nash, I won't share with you since there were no witness in the part of N1 which this accident had happened. There was no CCTV, nothing. And so this meant that I could go on with driving the truck. A year later, I was out of South Africa. They assisted me and I started working for another company. So when I was working, I kept on having these flashbacks. I told my wife about this, especially the sound. That sound, it keeps on coming back to me, the sound of the impact. Sometimes in my dream, I can see myself driving the same truck, and then all of a sudden, I'll see that in front of me, there will be a man that will be staring at me. He even told me his name. This was in late 2017 when I had a dream about him. He says that you have forgotten about me, but my family has not forgotten about me. I have told my wife about everything that has happened, but my wife, she loves our life here. She says that we should be grateful. Accidents, they do happen. Sometimes I want to tell her, sometimes I want to book a flight back to Johannesburg, but I know what it means. I will lose everything. My kids will suffer. My wife has made it clear we suffered when we were in Zim. We are not going back to that life. She even threatened to put poison in my food one day, and she said it is far much better than that you die than for you to return back to Africa. It is really strange how guilt works. You can be sitting at work in a nice office, then all of a sudden you start to feel as if you are back in South Africa driving that same truck. I'm really scared. My children have opportunities that I never had growing up in a village back home in Zim. I really wish that there was a solution to all of my problems. Each and every year when we are in that month when this accident happened, it gets so worse for me. I want help. I don't know. What do you suggest? Ever since that accident happened, I'm so scared. I am terrified of driving. My wife is the one who drives me to work. How can I tell my wife to at least stop it with the pills, the over-the-counter medication that she gives me, because they give me these hallucinations, and my wife says that if I stop taking them, the hallucinations will become worse. I feel as if I am losing my mind. This man, he once came to me and he said that I am not like a chicken whom you can just kill and you can forget about it. My family is still thinking about me. Return back and tell them what you did. I can't throw away the future of my children. I am a father, and the thought of leaving my children without a provider feels like killing someone all over again. My wife keeps on saying, what will it solve? The man died. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our brother. That was the translation of the message that he sent to me. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world.